Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We do quite a few stories about the SNP, and that's quite right, they are the ones in power after all. But I think it's only fair that we should do a story about the Greens. They too are very, very stupid, and they're also in power. And there's a story today about Lorna Slater and her views on free speech, which are, frankly, nonsensical, stupid, ignorant and offensive. We'll take a look at this piece, but honestly, this woman has the IQ of a carrot. I mean, she is just so stupid. There are not enough words in the English language to totally define how stupid she truly is. Let's look at this article, and you too will be left bewildered and shaking your head that this woman is leading a political party. I wouldn't trust her to stack shelves at Sainsbury's. Here goes. So Lorna Slater defends free speech, but only for those with the same views as her. The Scottish Greens co-leader attacked the SNP MP's claims that she had been cancelled as she backed employees having shows called off if they don't like the content. This was Joanna Cherry, who got cancelled by a comedy club because they disagreed with her views on gender, and so they deplatformed her. And then she said, well, this isn't an affront to free speech. People should have the freedom to do this, that, and the other, and you shouldn't cancel people just because you dislike what they say or think. All this is quite right. If you don't like what someone's view is, either walk away from them or argue. Present your case. Have a discussion. But that's not what the left do. That's not what people with these views have. They demand tolerance, but tolerance in only one direction. You must tolerate them. They must never ever be allowed to tolerate your view, because that goes against the agenda. And that's what this very, very stupid woman fails to understand. And I can say I'm not even going to dress it up and say allegedly stupid or anything like that. No. She's as thick as champ. She really is. She's as thick as a mince pie. This woman hasn't got the intelligence she was born with. Lorna Slater has been accused of acting more like Vladimir than Voltaire as she attacked the SNP MP, Joanna Cherry, for suggesting that she had been cancelled by an Edinburgh comedy club. Voltaire, of course, famous for, well, many things, but one of his famous sayings was, I will disagree with what you said, but I will defend with my life the very right you have to say it. So he was agreeing with free speech, and free speech must be absolute. She also backed the right of employees to refuse to work if someone in their workplace expressed views differing that they didn't agree with. Okay, so if I was working for her or with her in a place and I didn't like her views, I could just stop working then. Oh, I'm not working with her. I don't like what she's got to say about Manchester United, for example. Doesn't matter what it is. That's not what she has said. I disagree with what she says about the environment. There you go. Political. Bang. I'm not going to work with her. She's saying that I have the right to tell her that she's got to change her views because I disagree with them. This woman is honestly, there are children aged 5 out there who could argue better than this woman. The Scottish Greens minister appeared on the BBC's debate night where she was asked about the situation involving Miss Cherry, who has claimed that she was wrongly discriminated against by The Stand, which is owned by her SNP colleague Tommy Shepherd. There's much infighting in the SNP. But her comments were roundly criticised on social media, with many pointing out that she can't back free speech for just people she agrees with. This is Lorna Slater. Miss Slater also evoked head shaking from an audience member while she ranted about the situation, and even her fellow panellists struggled to keep a straight face. Well, you would when you're sitting in a room with an absolute moron whose job it seems to be to advertise how stupid they are. You're going to laugh, aren't you? You're going to look at them and go, I can't believe this woman. Oh my God, this woman. And they're just laughing at her. They're ridiculing her. And that is the one thing. The one thing politicians absolutely cannot abide. They can abide sneering. They can abide derision. They have very, very thick skins for things like that because they get a lot of it. But the one thing they cannot abide is ridicule. But when they do something so ridiculous that people just ridicule them for it, cut them to shreds because they are just so obviously stupid. And every time they open their mouth, the stupid pours out time and time again. It's hard not to. She said, and this is good, she said, freedom of speech is very important, but it isn't freedom to say whatever you like, wherever you like, without consequences. That is the very definition of what freedom of speech is. Any control on freedom of speech means you have no freedom of speech. She says, I think this is very much one of those examples of someone going, I've been cancelled on the front of every newspaper. Poof, you've not been cancelled. Her show was cancelled. Yes, she's been cancelled because the person running the show didn't like her view. Everybody hears from Joanna Cherry. She has a newspaper column. She's on television. She has not been cancelled. Her views are well known and well aired. But somebody cancelled her show. The woman doesn't understand what the word cancelled means. But then she has got the IQ of a mushroom. It's all that tofu, love. I bet you're a vegan. She looks like a level 3 vegan, doesn't she? Yeah. Doesn't eat anything that casts a shadow. If one particular venue is saying, or staff at a particular venue are saying, I'm not comfortable working in this event because I'm not comfortable with the views being expressed, I think that those staff have the right to not be working in support of some views that they find really potentially upsetting in terms of how they tackle human rights. They are, they are snowflakes. If you don't like it, if you're there and you don't like it, fuck off. Simple. If you want to earn, if I was the boss of that place and I'd say, Joanna Cherry's here, she's going to fill that auditorium, I'm going to get 1,000 people in. But sir, I don't like her views. Well, fuck off home then. You're not getting paid. Off you go. Pick your cards up. You're done. Bye. Won't give a shit. Your job will be filled by someone else in 30 seconds. And you can take your snowflake view. You can go and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Meanwhile, people have the right to free speech. And all this, but free speech doesn't mean saying what you like when you like. That is exactly what free speech is. This woman is a fucking moron. How is she in charge of a party? Who votes for people this stupid? It goes to show, if this is the leader of the party, and that's how stupid she is, think how stupid the average Green voter must be to vote her in. I mean, a classic example is, imagine how stupid the average person is, and think that half the world are thicker than that. Well, let's face it, on this bell curve, Lorna Slater is very much to the left, isn't she? I mean, she's down there, first quartile, easy. IQ, somewhere in the 80s, maybe. Anyway, she said, I can absolutely see why employees at a venue would say, you know what, there are certain functions I'm not comfortable participating in. Yeah, it's called a job. I go and do things I'm not comfortable doing, but I have to do it because at the end of the bloody month, I pick up my salary check. It's great. But this isn't a question of free speech. Yes, it is. Nobody is suggesting that Joanna Cherry can't speak her mind. Yes, they are. And doesn't have a platform. No, she doesn't. She absolutely does. Not in that place, because she was cancelled, you dim cow. But Miss Slater's definition of free speech was criticised, of course, by those who watched the clip, which BBC Scotland put out on its social media channels, as many pointed out the hypocrisy in it. It was criticised by just about anyone whose IQ is higher than that of a 5-year-old. Anyone who understands what the words free speech means. Anyone who doesn't vote Green. Anyone who isn't Lorna Slater. Actor James Dreyfus said, I'm not entirely convinced that Slater has really thought this through. Does this work both ways? Has she considered the long-term consequences of this? How would this play out in the real world? No, she hasn't thought about it because she lacks the mental capacity to think. She's got just enough brain to let the mouth, the lippies up and down. I can up and down my mouth. The jaw will do that. The tongue will do that. And the words pour out. And that is using 99% of the processing power of her head just to make her tongue waggle because she's thick as champ. Anyway, Alba Party MP Neil Hanvey said, what Lorna Slater thinks is increasingly the butt of many jokes, but what she's advocating here is unlawful discrimination against a protected characteristic and the silences of women's ability to defend their sex-based rights. This is anything but progressive. He has nailed that. Lorna Slater is telling women to shut up. Lorna Slater is telling women, do not protect your hard-fought-for rights based on your sex. Lorna Slater is damaging the rights, freedoms and abilities and opportunities of women in Scottish life. That is who Lorna Slater is. She is fantastic. What a star. Former Green Party Deputy Leader Shahar Ali wrote, "Wow, Lorna Slater, a Green politician across border, but such a profoundly ignorant take on legal implications of Cherry's recent cancellation by Venue. Misrepresentation and misdirection about what had happened. Muddled thinking, zero thinking. Muddled thinking about free speech standards as if saying it makes it so." Another former Tory MP, Ross Thompson, said, "It concern us all." I'm turning into Connery there. Concern. "It should concern us all when a politician, vocally using their own right to express an opinion, says that they like free speech, but not just the free speech of others. That kind of thinking is less Voltaire and more Vladimir." And Lorna Slater, the IQ of an apple pip, was not thick enough to even address these comments. She lacked everything. The woman is an absolute moron and offensive, and I will continue to say things about her because I have the right to do so. It's called free speech, Lorna. It means I can say what I like, where I like, about anything I like, and you can do nothing about it because it's my opinion. And you know, opinions, they're protected under the 2010 Equality Act. Philosophical belief is a wonderful thing, and it's my philosophical belief that you are thick. I'm coming up. Now, I'm going to presume she's seen the reaction to this. She's had words in her ear by colleagues, by friends, by family, all of whom telling her, of course, that she must be completely off her tiny, tiny little rocker. Her mind boggles, and by mind I mean like a walnut rattling around in a kettle, because that is about the size of it. How can anyone be as stupid as this? I mean, without training. I think this is just latent stupidity. I don't think she's trying hard. I think this is just about her level. Does she even listen to the words that come out of her? Probably not. Because if she did, she wouldn't be telling everyone about all these other wonderful ideas she's got about how to help the environment. Things that would undoubtedly damage it way, way more, because she lacks the intelligence to work out the consequences of what she's saying. I'm surprised she can even operate a coat. Anyway, I'm not letting the Greens off the hook, and neither should you. So let's all pick on them as well, because they're just about as bad as the SNP. I mean, all parties are bad, but why? Why the Greens so thick? Anyway, round off. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, ring the bell very loudly so that the Greens get annoyed by it. Leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Definitely leave a like. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, exercise your free speech, and goodbye.